Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chriscast. We have some sixes for you tonight. It is the 6v6 Nations Cup in ETF2L, as the countries try to decide who is the best at TF2. Poland losing out to France in the semi-finals, and Germany, who lost out to England, will be playing against each other for that bronze medal that will appear on the ETF2L team page for history to preserve for the ages. I'm CeeJaey, and tonight I'm joined by Meer.
This is going to be the ultimate game of the Nations Cup. They're competing for those little bronze pixels on the team profile, which sometimes is bigger than the game itself for these players.
And we can take a look at these two teams.
So on the German side, we've got Stefan on the Scout in conjunction with Voxy or Voxtech as well. Roaming Soldier is going to be Fitchkoff tonight. Stepping in for, I believe, Rising, who's played the bulk of the tournament. Pocket is going to be Gazzy. Adilos on the Demo Man, and Medic finally is gonna be Ray.
But we have BB and Sam on the Scout classes. Bonkers is going to be the Roaming Soldier with Wonju, the Pocket Soldier, two very experienced soldiers there for Poland. Stan is going to be on the Demo Man, and it's going to be Fizjunvka on the Medic. His name used to be Zia, right? You can see the maps at the side there if you're watching the stream. You can see we're going to be playing Snakewater, which is Germany's pick. Process was Poland's pick. And the decider is Sunshine. Is it going to be close? Are we going to go to 3?
I'd love to see this go to 3 because I think these are two very exciting teams. So I'm a bit of a Poland fanboy, so I'm going to have to go with that one. Is there anything you're tipping?
You know, Germany haven't actually won a game since the group stage. Because their two knockout stages, the last 16 and the quarterfinals, they got default wins. And then they got to the semi-finals, played against England, which of course they lost 2-0. So maybe, I don't know if maybe the synergy's not going to be quite there because they're getting default win, and think, oh, well, okay, we need to scrim. I don't know. Whereas, like you said, the Polish, they've been tearing it up. They haven't been playing every game. And they went pretty close against France. But then, you know, to be fair, so did Germany against England. So maybe not too much to decide, but maybe that synergy will come into play. Maybe a little bit more practice on the side of Poland. We'll have to see. For those of you just joining us, this is the ETF2L 6v6 Nations Cup number 8. This is the bronze map for 3rd place. Poland versus Germany. Germany in the red, Poland in the blue. I'm CeeJaey. Meer, you are joining me. As always, take away the mid-fight.
We got a pretty fast one coming out of Stan here, just sort of feeling the other one out. Of course, don't want to go too aggressive at the start. This one, Voxy playing this top area pretty well. BB has returned as well, and a really early bomb there from Wonju does go behind. Ray slips over the point. They've got all of Germany aggressive, but this bomb is absolutely crunching them there. Zio well preserved with Ray going down right at the apex of that mid. Voxy trying to salvage as best he can. And a loss on that point as well, seemingly stuck in the mud and does get cleaned up. We've got Fitchkoff. We got Voxy left, but it looks like they really do want to risk their biscuits and just elect to back out to second there.
Yeah, making the decision that, you know, once Idalos didn't get anything done, he's actually still in the spawn queue. He survived for so long in that mid-fight. Maybe just trying to go for the medic, just get that pick to equalize things out, but because he died late, no stickies in lobby, so Poland are able to just creep forward a little bit here. This should be a pretty easy second cap, and massive advantage to push into last.
Yeah, we do actually see the sniper out of Voxtech on this left-hand side. Doesn't quite manage to get the cheeky pick, but Poland have sort of consoled themselves underneath. Stan takes the bomb, but denied instantly. It's only Sam there to charge forward. There's not really anyone on the point other than Gazzy. So they want to just play it now. Voxy trying to get on there as the heavy. They're just not there fast enough. It's just going to be Gazzy trying to do all that he can. The spam from Poland coming up, but they've got no high ground. They've got no position. They're taking so much damage. Stan gets piped. Zio is out on his own in that lower area. Germany are just going to swarm all over them. Poland, a failed push, going to have to reconcile.
Yeah, and that failed from step 1. As soon as Stan got launched into the stratosphere, hitting that skybox really wasn't any use in coming into the fight. And that's the problem. When your Demo Man is taking the meat of that Uber, you're going to want the damage, you're going to want the pressure. The sentry did go down, but just nothing else got cleaned up there. And now Ray has that 100% Uber, but look at these launches.
Oh, no.
Oh my word, both soldiers and Stan the Demo launching in there. Wonju actually gets the kill onto Fitchkoff, and then Gazzy destroying Bonkers there with the nice crispy direct. But great force.
Yeah, it was really good out of them, and one thing we did miss is ones who actually managed to sort of get on the back cap, got that cap so close to the line, but didn't quite pull it off in the end. BB on the sniper, separated from Zio. This isn't going to help their Uber situation, though. At 30% ad as it stands, but they do lose that one player, which certainly is not going to assist things as they come into this sort of sore area looking to get into mid.
Yeah, Poland being aggressive already, only 85%, but already wanting to, position themselves to come in. Germany not backing out, they're building hard. Ray at 75%, and if they keep on this, they have to go for Ray, otherwise Germany's just going to re-push with this uber advantage, but Poland haven't had to use yet. One shoot goes down, taking that sticks. Volkers is doing exactly the same, but this is what we talked about. The soldiers go in deep, and it's about the rest of the players to see if they can clean up, but Poland not really getting any worth out of that. BB also dying, and they have to use Fishkop with the force. Voxy is also there, and Voxy wants a flash. He wants to chase. He can smell blood in the water. Zio gets crunched there. Gazzy with the follow-up. Sam is also in danger territory. He manages to pistol Fishkop out, but Germany in the ascendancy here.
That's like this devolved into chaos. I was going to comment on how Poland, they always go send their soldiers forward, and if it doesn't work out, they're always really, really good at getting Zio out, but I'm going to have to eat my words there, as it did quite pay off for them that time, but they have managed to sort of get themselves clubbed together a sort of bastardization of a last. Whole bunkers very up close. Here they've got the sniper on this right-hand side. Gun is being built in progress, and Germany just building their 30% uber advantage, looking to sort of break into this Polish stronghold.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Germany can do better than Poland did with an uber advantage last push. This isn't a massive advantage, 30-40%, but they have to make sure they're pushing close to the dot, because Poland are building on last, and actually Gazzy's already in. They're taking space on this far side. Sentry is going to be focused, eventually does go down. No point pressure just yet. They've actually managed to get one shoot. They're playing this nice and slow. They're just chipping away. They have the positioning, and now they're about to make their attack. Gazzy in the air gets taken down by the anti-aircraft gun. BB taking the arrows on heavy, staying alive, and just denying so much damage there from Fishkop. He gets 3. Takes out Sam, Stan, and Volkers.
Oh no.
Point.
Oh, that was such a miss. Yeah, I think that Poland completely overestimated the uber advantage of Germany.
Yeah.
They thought, we're not going to build, there's no chance whatsoever. When Germany were building on second, they had, say, 25-30%, and when they came into last, they had sort of 45 to 40%, and Poland finishing that round on 98% uber, just letting it completely slip, getting chipped away by Germans.
Yeah, Germany playing it nice and slow, playing the chipping it away game. Voxtech though not doing that on this mid play, going straight in, taking down Bonker. Stan also gets taken down by Stefan, but it's now time for the Polish scouts to start cleaning out. Fish even gets in on the action. Nice little arrow.
Zio was isolated from BB. Fishkov stood between the two of them and just chips one of them off, but at the same time, Ray also isolated. She does go down to Wanzu, and it's just a 1v1. Fishkov so weak though on this point, but Wanzu not counter-bombing strangely.
Just playing it safe, I guess. Fishkop has been doing a lot of work actually. Gonna take this fight. Snake mid MGE, gonna be won by 1G. And looks like Germany are back in now. They have the players, they've got the respawns, and they're going to take the cap time. This is surely going to eventually be a mid-fight win for them. But Fish with that small uber advantage, because he did die early.
Yeah, certainly so. So Poland looking in a slightly more favourable position. It did lose that cap, obviously, to the faster spawners out of Germany. Quite explosive early mid from them, but ultimately the toll of it, Germans ultimately coming good there. So just going to look to both sides build it up. Germany need to feel up Poland. They know they've got a little bit of an uber advantage to deal with, but Poland are really, keeping their feet on the gas in this lower area. They just use straight in.
Yeah, they have that advantage. They want to try and catch Ray off here. They managed to get Ivos and Vox. Ray is trying to stay alive. Got Fishkop company, being very brave and not allowing them.
Oh no,
Fishkop
Stefan on the back cap.
Yeah, it's just absolutely torn Poland apart there. They're just caught between, do they try and fight mid, do they go back for the back cap? And Fishkop just standing there and being like, you know what, if you're going to want to push, you have to go through me. Just really holding that choke by himself. And that allowed Stefan to get the back cap. Fish is in absolute massive danger here.
Lands his head. Lands on Zio's head, just picks him off, making it look really, really easy there. Poland crumbling. And still really, really aggro in this lobby area. They've got to be careful not to lose Stan as well, as they're just going to have to drag their knuckles back to last. 50% advantage to Germany, but it looks like they don't quite want to use it because Gazzy and Stefan are already in here. Stefan's really far on the point, got a really good amount of cap time. They've forced a lot of Polish players onto the point at a loss, taking a lot of damage, and Ray going down to bonkers. I mean, it might be a little bit of a fail push. They've got no high ground, they've got no positioning, and Poland are just going to sort of try and crawl all over them. But you have got the high bomb coming out of Fishkov. Sinks up onto point, he's on point, stands so painfully weak. Gazi and Fishkov, and they do manage to get it. That was messy.
I honestly thought like you were saying that was a fail push in a way. Yeah, this has all gone wrong. You know, Stefan getting so much cap time is great, but they need to keep your medic alive in that situation. And you think once it all ends, Poland win this on the basis of heals, but Gazi and Fishkov just launching themselves on the point and hitting those rockets is going to be enough for the 2-0. And onto our third mid-fight here. We're not even reached the 10-minute mark. Poland maybe needs to start switching things up here because Germany's starting to tighten their grip on this map.
Yeah, and we're seeing that again, just such early aggression out of both soldiers. CeeJaey surviving with very little time at all, and with that, all the explosive class is so weak. Both soldiers and the demo man sub 50 HP just getting chipped away, as we've seen Germany replicate so many times through this first map here. And it just looks like they're just coming good in all of these team fights. Their experience obviously serving them pretty well. Sam attempts to scrabble, does slow them down just a little bit, but again, Germany ball very much in their hands. 20 minutes left, 2 rounds up, and Poland going to have to scrabble again to get some defense on last, staring down the barrel of an even bigger Uber disadvantage. It's 80% in favor of Germany with Ray.
Yeah, and Sam is still dead, and that's a potential off-class they could have had. It ain't just going to be on the respawn now, but Germany already looking to push into last. You know, standing on top of the point here, Poland, they have a sentry in position. Germany just taking their time now, maybe just trying to get a little bit of information on where Poland are holding. They're coming in on this far side again. They seem to like this, and it's a mirror image of what happened earlier on in that first round, but this time Fishkop is going to be the first casualty, and Germany not really achieving much with this Uber.
Yeah, they didn't quite close as much ground as they could have. The high bombers in the end that really did make the ground. A good attempt at a high bomb there from Gazi. But doesn't manage to convert any frags, so 2 players remain from Germany. They have managed to sort of preserve Ray on that mid-fight there, but it's going to be a nice, comfortable push out for Poland. But they've left Bonkers there for a little bit of insurance. They're not keen to lose too many rounds in the early stages of what is just the first map now.
Yeah, that would be a real knife in the back if you manage to hold on to last that well and then get back capped for a 3-0. That's a real morale destroyer. But yeah, Poland looking good now. Again, seeing Bonkers launching forward, trying to take some space, telling his team where everyone is. One shoot is going to die there to Gazi. And Bonkers again flying on top of the point, but Stefan is just saying, hey, this is my high ground. And again, there's a backup going on. It's Fishkop behind, who's getting pressure on that second point. Gazi is about to join. He's in the sky.
Oh, he's so high. Oh, doesn't get any damage off, unfortunately, there. But you just see Poland, in playing as a team, are just allowing too many players to get behind. You know, the ball of death doesn't work when you've got to split your attention like that. And Germany seem to have sort of identified that, and they're tearing them apart a little bit. And they're coming in for the post fight now. CeeJaey so far over. Stan gets picked off. They're playing the height as best they can, but at the cost of all of their health. Poland getting picked off one by one. Bonkers just going to have to slip away, and it's yet another last hold. It was pretty equal this time around, but with the player advantage, Germany might fancy their chances.
Yeah, dry push here is totally in the cards, and they've done it. They've gone in through shutter because Stan's alive. Poland are playing aggressively, trying to catch him out in lobby, but they're not prepared for the point pressure. Actually, Idos is going to die, but the flank comes in. Fishkop and Stefan are already on the point. They're just going to destroy Poland, but ready for pressure in the lobby. They didn't expect Germany to just walk through shutter there, but Stan was down. No stickies on the door made it very, very easy for them to walk in, and just really well coordinated by the Germans. 12 minutes approaching now, and it's already 3-0. Poland, again, need to think things through here and work out how they're going to shift, because Germany are running away with this.
No, certainly so. They just sort of clump together, and they're just not able to control the chaos Germany are putting forward onto very fast again with his mid. Gets a nice rocket onto Ray, but again, so many balls of death pile in, and CeeJaey, it does go down to a nice early sticky there, and it's just hunting season for Germany. Ray, it does go down to a nice one from Wanzhou. It's going to be a 2v3 at the end of this. Stan is getting focused down first. Sam is still sort of causing a little bit of a ruckus. He's pretty healthy, manages to get Foxy, and Fishkov just add a lot left. It's on 33 HP, but he's not looking to risk it just yet.
No, waiting for that health pack. Sam thinking, all right, I'll go get some health as well. Gazi approaching mid now. Sam is kind of unknown, but no, Gazi with that sixth sense is going to take down the scout. Looks like Germany essentially winning that mid fight now, although they do have the heals, and it looks like BB is just poking and prodding and thinking, hey guys, we could maybe walk in here.
Yeah, of course, they did lose their medic first on that mid-fight, but it doesn't warrant them going in just soon enough. As they're sort of, it looks like Poland are always really uncomfortable when they don't have both of their scouts on the beam, and that's where sort of a lot of these points have slipped so far. So Germany, they've got their foot on the gas, they're fighting forward as best they can. But both teams reasonably close to Ubercharge, a very slight advantage in favour of the Poles, but they're of course not looking to take these sort of risky trades, because if they are to lose another round at this point, it could spell the end of the map for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Germany are thinking, hey, we're 3-0 up, we can just chill on mid here and wait for, you know, Poland to make a mistake, and in comes the sack. Oh, that rocket almost hitting, he's still alive, he's chasing with the stick. Oh. Almost Minecraft. Almost. And Stan dies there though. Idlos is going to take down Stan. BB also dies. Idlos absolutely fragging out here. And the only two players left alive are Sam and Fish, and they have to use the Uber to stay alive. And Ray doesn't. So this is a huge Uber ad now for Germany. And that was just utter chaos.
That's what the Germans are so good at, though, just creating chaos. Even when Poland look to be in a comfortable position, there's always something being lined up, always a high bomb, always a player behind, always somebody waiting, prowling around the corner, just ready to sort of ruin their fun. And they're just not letting them execute their game plan at all. Germany locking out this point pretty well, executing huge spam into the left side of the Polish lobby. And with Wanzu down and a 60% Uber advantage in hand, once again, it looks like they want to pile in pretty quickly here, consoling themselves lower.
Yeah, going for a different strategy this time, not using, such a late use is going to give them so much ground stand. Having to push into lobby will get cleaned up, so no stickers on the point. Poland now have to try and stop these cappers, but they just get absolutely crunched by those rockets. Idlos are picking up the last kill there with the pipes. It's going to be 4-0 to Germany. And things are looking pretty dire at the moment. This was Germany's pick though, Meer. This was their map. You'd expect them to be good at it.
You'd expect them to be good, but you know, this is a staple pub map. You know, everyone should know how to play this map. Germans obviously feeling the oats, I suppose, feel a bit more confident on it, but you'd expect a team that's going to potentially take this to 3 maps would do a bit more solidly on this one. So Poland gonna have to switch it up and see how this one goes.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing Fish being a little bit more passive here. Cassie's actually going to launch him in the air. It's going to be a crater on the medic. Both soldiers down for Germany. A lot of weak players on the server, and I think Germany are just electing to back out here. They realize they're not going to win this fight. They're losing the spam battle. Poland lose their medic, but win the mid fight. And now Bonkers looks like he wants to maybe go in for a sack. Germany just regrouping. And I guess once they got their spawns, can maybe repush. No, Voxy getting taken down by Wanju. So Poland, again, just being a little bit more aggressive and taking some more risks.
Oh, the bomb does come in. Bonkers does get out off the force onto Ray. They're going to just try and part as far forward as they can. Wanzu so painfully weak. Does manage to escape within an inch of his life. Adidas going down as well. So just going to be a bit of a clean-up from the German side. Sort of not the most favourable Uber imaginable. You sort of would have hoped that with that much ad, they would have wanted to take more than 1 point. But they're 4-0 up. They're quite contented with just playing a nice, slow, comfortable game plan. Take the solid points. And just make it as hard as possible for Poland to push us over the line.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the moment, I think Germany, they're happy to just eke out as much time as possible. Oh, Bonkers, though! Just jumps so high and so deep. Ray goes down and he's able to jump out again.
No, but Mishkov is there on his medic, and they just get clumped by the same rocket there. So just one German remaining. It is Voxy, but does get picked off by the scout pairing of BB and Sam, so it's going to be a free mid for Poland. They're going to try and hope to sort of deny what they can, but Stan seemingly go for a bit of a spawn camp there, but not going to quite come good for them. Not quite as well timed as you would hope there.
Yeah, they are going to be having some forward spawns here for Germany, so equal Uber situation. Stan getting taken down though. Fishkov just playing aggressively in Saw, able to just pick off the demo, and without your demo it's going to be hard for you to push, it's going to be hard for you to hold, as Germany are the ones now saying, okay, we're going to push mid, and Poland are just kind of poking, they're prodding, they're saying, hey, can we hold this? They're not going to be able to. They may even lose Wanju here as Idlos trying to catch him. Actually, Soldier does a great job getting out, and something happened behind the scenes there, Meer. Bonkers gets Ray. I didn't see what happened.
I've genuinely no idea, because I didn't even know Bonkers was causing a ruckus there. It looked like Germany's attention was really split.
Yeah.
But yeah, somehow in the fallout of all that, managed to pick up Ray and Zio on 95% Uber advantage now. They've managed to lock out this mid, but they're still playing it pretty slow, which you don't really want to be doing when you're staring down the barrel of 12 minutes left, 4-0 on the clock. You really want to sort of force Germany on to last as best you can here, but they've given them a chance to relive this fight.
Yeah, oh, so much damage there going on to Sam. Picks up the health pack. Will live. Ghazi is in the air onto Fish. Gets so much damage down. 16 HP. The man doesn't use. Really, really brave. And that is huge for Poland here. Because, you know, using there, no Uber for last. Now they have Uber for last and essentially 2 picks. They're going to use early. Stan is jumping in deep onto the spawn. So much damage. Gets the flash. Idolos will go down. The soldiers from Germany coming to try and block this point. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Oh, they're trying to do as best they can. They've got Big on the point from Poland, but they just couldn't kill him. So Poland have actually put a point on the board there. 11 minutes remaining, 3 rounds in it. It's sounding a little bit more realistic now, CeeJaey, but they really need to sort of play together a little bit more. They're losing a lot of players randomly from the Polish side.
Yeah, I mean, if they start ironing out those little mistakes where you lose a player here and there where you really shouldn't, and this is totally doable. I mean, we've seen comebacks like this before in the past, and getting around on the board is definitely going to be a motivating factor. They're going to feel a little bit better now. Fishcop going into kitchen. I'm not sure if he was seen. Actually, he was. He's going to be chased. Stefan going into assist, and they will take down BB. Stan also going down, with a lot of damage coming in from both teams here. People are just going in behind. Ghazi's done the loop, gone all the way around, goes onto Fish, get the rocket! Oh my word, hits Sam, but Fish lives.
Oh my
like
god, that was a beautiful air pipe right at the end of that bonkers. Tried to get in, tried to get a little bit of salvage as Zio slips away. And that was beautiful from him. So Poland, they've got a few spawners up. 30% advantage to Germany, and it might be a bit of a stick for Poland to look to contest this second point, but it's actually just a very aggressive Uber, and Zio and Stan caught out on their own.
Oh no, Zio obviously was running away there, didn't have time or anyone to build with, almost getting caught out, but the fact that Germany didn't get the kill means that, you know, they have the Uber. Poland have the Uber. It looks like Germany want to go in here for maybe a bit of a force or something bonkers, but a great play just to get some spam down onto Ray, stopping those heals from coming in. And it looks like Poland are doing a decent enough job just denying these sacks, picking up all of the players. Only bonkers is going to die on the side of Poland. Ray goes down to about 15 HP, trying to run away. Idolos is going to get picked up as well. And maybe Germany biting off a little bit more than they can chew there. Voxy is in cheese, maybe going in for a play. It's just that Germany just constantly going forward. They don't want Poland to have this Uber.
But not only that, but they're not dying for it. Ghazi, you know, he bombed onto her and he hit 4 really solid rockets into the whole team of Poland and then slips away. As does Voxy, they're just running absolutely amok all over this Polish side. And as we said, just not letting them get comfortable in any of these team fights. And they're applying the pressure again. Poland have used Ray. She's now on 90%, but just with Voxy in this saw. And it looks like they want to contest this with Stefan down.
Yeah, the thing is, Stefan and Fishkop were behind, causing absolute havoc. Fishkop's going to get Fish there, and that is a big medic pick Uber used by Ray, just keeping players alive going forward. But during all of that, Poland moving in onto mid, Fishkop and Stefan behind drew back 2 Polish players, so they just weren't able to have any effect with their Uber on mid. And because those players took so long to be dealt with, they end up coming through good for Germany, and now they're looking at a 40% Uber advantage, holding on to second. They might even want to push last now, Meer.
Yeah, they seem to be taking advantage of the soldiers, you know, just coming up from the Polish side, but they've taken a bit of damage pressure. Ghazi going down to a nice coordinate bomb, as does Adel. So Germany going to have to slip out here, but there is certainly a risk that Poland could push out here, not allow them to execute their game plan, and Sam seems to be the apex of that. Does die very early to Voxy. High bombs coming out of Stan and Bonkers. Trapped Ray in a corner, 95%. BB charges forward. Uber does eventually get popped there, so Poland just going to sort of sit back, watch the melee, and potentially come in afterwards. But they are 2 players down. Stan does bomb in after the fact. He gets picked off nice and cleanly by Ghazi. So the 3 remaining Polish players just going to have to reconcile on last. But Zio goes down to Ghazi in lobby.
Yeah, that is that could be the nail in the coffin for this round. Germany already in on last. Bonkers on top of the point. Sam trying his best to just pepper them away with some shots, slow them down a bit. The respawns come in, but so much damage. These pipes from Idolos just destroys 3, and that's going to be it for Germany. Fish has no chance. And that was so close that you were counting Ubers, and it felt as a medic there, you're in your head. Every percent is taking 5 minutes to build, but Ray gets it at 100%. Stan jumped in behind, didn't go directly for the medic, just kind of stickied off behind Ray, maybe to stop the retreat. Maybe if he goes directly for an actual sack, Ray would have gone down and then Poland would have had an uber advantage, but that's in the past now. 7 minutes to go, 4 rounds to make up. Poland being aggressive here with Stan, already walking across the point.
Germans taking a huge amount of damage from those early bombs. Their bonkers and BB just absolutely crushing them there, but at the cost of all of their health here going down as well. Just managed to pick up Ray and Adilos in that melee there. Wanzu is sort of behind, but has been well spotted by those players, so you can imagine will be cleaned up reasonably soon. But you can imagine on the Polish side, sort of when the game is quote-unquote mathematically possible, it gets a lot more chaotic. You're just trying to do everything in your power, and things do get lost in that source of the comms, and it just looks like the Ubers seem to be a little bit of an afterthought. Gazi was hiding and dropped down, and T-Rock is bonkers, who walks out sort of duncely onto that bat's area, so Germany again just constantly applying this pressure.
Yeah, they're not allowing Poland to set up. You know, like you say, when you get to this moment where Poland needs to do things quickly, when you're rushing by a second or two, it allows for those mistakes to happen, not checking corners, you know, not making sure your entire team's ready for the Uber, not getting the buffs out. And Germany are just being so aggressive, they're not allowing Poland to even think about setting up. They're already in on last. Ray's only got 90%, getting
BB's in. Oh, the pistol. Oh, painfully close, but that seemed to be all the distraction they needed for Germany to cap that out. Winning to round difference 6-1 in Germany's favour at 6 minutes on the clock off of that one.
And Poland will definitely not be feeling very happy after that result. I mean, sure, they'll be more comfortable on their map choice, but to lose 6-1, to lose by round difference at this stage in a tournament, you know, that's definitely going to be a weight on their minds. And Germany sitting pretty, just playing with confidence, it seems, just taking the fights and just doing whatever it seems that they want to do. Looking at the logs here, Meer, is there anything that's jumping out to you to begin with?
You've really got to look at the impact of the soldiers in that one. Gazi and Fishkov, 31 and 20 frags respectively, only picking up 17 and 18 deaths.
I mean, process is slightly less friendly for soldiers. You would hope, if you're a Polish fan, that there'll be less effectiveness coming out of Gazi and Fishkov, but I can imagine they're going to have the freedom of the skies.
Ultimately, Mars are going to be on BB, they're going to be on Stan, and they're going to be on Sam. And I think ultimately that's those are the players that are going to be converting these mids for them.
Germany's Cup, they've won it once before, they came second once before. They'll be looking for a third place medal to, I guess, complete the hat-trick. Poland, on the other hand, will be looking to try and win their first ever placement at a Nations Cup, in sixes that is. Of course, they are the current defending Highlander champions. Stan is such an aggressive demo, I love to see it, and I feel like he needs a little bit more protection walking across that point during this mid-fight, and I think this first mid-fight could really indicate how the rest of the game is going to go for Poland. We'll have to see if Germany can bring that same kind of aggression they did in the first map, but this is now onto the second map of this third place playoff. Winner finishes third in the 8th edition of the 6v6 Nations Cup. Germany winning their map choice of Snakewater 6-1. We're now on to process. Poland's map choice, Fishkov, so very fast, so very early, and scares bonkers away from doing anything aggressive.
Yeah, Poland executing the mid. I touched on, they're just all clumpy up on their left side, but instead of going into them, Germany has elected to play on the opposite side. Gazi comes in with the high roll, as does Fishkov. Not done too much damage there, but they have sort of separated a few of the Polish players. Both their scouts going very, very weak, as does Wanzu, where they've managed to get the all-important Ray pick. Fishkov down too. There's a lot of aggression down, and 4 players from Germany have now fallen. It's just Gazi and Voxy left. They're sort of looking to execute just something onto Zio, getting one rocket off does Gazi, and Voxy on the point gets a lockdown as well. And I must say, a very well executed mid out of Poland there.
Yeah, I got a little bit confused because they swapped colours.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, when you were like the all-important Ray pick, and I was like, hold up. So yeah, Ray got bombed there, did a nice little surf onto the top of the point, onto the little shack, and then she kind of like turned behind, and all of her teammates were just nowhere to be seen, and the Polish scouts just rushed. So kind of a bit passive there from Germany, surprising, and now this Uber advantage for Fish is slowly diminishing, only about 30% now, so they need to make a move, and an aggressive sentry from Stefan. It's going to be the Stan Uber who takes that sentry down straight away.
I love this sort of traditionalist, sort of just the demo just instantly bombs at the start of the move. It's not something you see too much anymore, but Stan, we all know he's a bit of an old dog, and he's still making it look pretty comfortable in spite of what the Sentry has to say about it. So Poland taking a very quick first round, 2 minutes in, and again, we spoke about it in the pre-game, that they are executing that game plan. They are particularly good at this map, but Germany, if they can do anything, it is adapt and overcome. So we'll have to see how it pans out in this second mid-fight.
Yeah, not so fast from Fishkop this time. He just kind of chills on top of the shack. Bonkers maybe going for something. Gazi is in the skybox, landing on Fish. He surfs away into Choke. He's being chased by Stefan. A lot of chaos happening in this corner. It's Stefan who gets the med kill. Ray has lived and is running away with Voxy now, but Wonshu is on the chase through Choke, maybe trying to catch off their escape. Don't think it's going to be enough though. Not as fast as Scout on the beam.
He was tempting it. Voxy was thinking about it. To be honest, if I was a soldier, Voxy is one of the last scouts I would want to be bombing there. So Wonzu very sensibly does choose to call off the chase there. So have managed to preserve it Ray on the German side. And it does mean they can put up a good fight on this second. They have the Uber advantage in hand. I'm just looking to sort of feel out this Poland mid-hold here. And it looks like they want to sort of tease in through sewers and choke here.
Yeah, they're slowly in. Ray's taking a lot of damage. Down to 60 HP, has to use in the end. Bonkers with the force.
To get this, I'll just want to maximize it, and we do see the unforce now.
Yeah, Germany kind of just chilling here. Like you can see in their eyes, they're tempted to keep going. They want a little bit of a snowballing action here. Keep them going forward, and yeah, Fishkop is in deep.
Ooh, does get a shot.
Yeah, gets denied. Not going to go for the chase, but it's enough. That space has been created, and Germany just walk in and get the cap. They are at a disad now, but you know, it's enough to be in control of the point that they can just position themselves. Ray safe in that choke, and Poland now kind of under the pressure. Do they push out with this ad?
It's not. I mean, they're a round up. They allowed Germany to get the momentum last time around, and based on the Wonzu spy I'm seeing on grass right now, I think maybe a push out is the last of their concerns. So of course, as soon as you back out with the Uber advantage onto last when it's equal players, it's really, really awkward. It's really risky to try and slip out there, and Germany should be anticipating that, but Wonzu has actually uncloaked now. He's coming up behind Ray. Nobody spotted it, and he gets the drop! Ray goes down, Wonzu picked. A good distraction from Bonkers as well, so Germany just going to try and raw dog it, try and get onto Zio, and Gazi does actually manage to get the force and all of that, and they're on the cap as well. It's so tantalizingly close. BB and Stan on that point, Voxy, and Stefan slips behind and just pushes them off the point.
I mean, if we're gonna boil it down to its bare ingredients there, you know, it took two players to get that drop. You know, Bonkers with the distraction and Wonshu with the stab. But once that happened, Voxy was just allowed to walk in for free, get so much cap time. It was like a hair away from being completed. And then the re-pushes there from...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, what's happening? Is this...
It's the typical Polish mid. Stan always stickies that shutter, and Fishkop was tempting it there, but just bumped into two stickies, which ended their bed pretty quickly. Stefan going down
that
as well.
That was really surreal. I thought, is this what's happened? Is this like that was not a mid fight you'd expect to really see? Just kind of baiting that sewer door. But hey, Germany will. Okay. Doesn't matter. Germany aren't worried because they kill fish.
Yeah, managed to pick off Zio there. That's really, really crucial because they definitely had the momentum in hand, and this has put Germany in a really good pose to push out. But Wonzu does go as deep onto Ray as is humanly possible, but doesn't quite get that force off. Poland do get the cap ultimately, so a few forward spawners shall follow on their part, but they're just looking to create a little bit of chaos. And they do manage to pick off Fishkop, but losing the two men for that, not quite ideal. Zio BB now on mid, gonna have to relinquish second to the German side.
Yes, it's familiar territory this. Germany with the huge Uber and pushing into mid. Poland just chilling back in choke. Poland sent a soldier, but this time Bonkers doesn't get any value out of the bomb, does live. So Poland not traded any players for it this time, but they don't get the horse, and now Ray with that 100% Uber, 50% over Fish. They actually get the pick onto Gazi. So maybe Germany will think twice about pushing now, but you know, do you ever see them decide against pushing on an ad?
Certainly not, it's worked for them so well. They're really good at controlling the chaos of Poland. Seemingly not Wanzu though, as he has managed to slip behind into sewers. Germany up on this point, managing to get BB as well. Bonkers seemingly caught, gets picked up nice and cleanly by Stefan as well. Wanzu so far behind, isn't going to be able to have any impact other than sort of slowing down Gazi at this point.
Yeah, he's been a real annoyance, hasn't he? Is he actually going to die here? The stick fight and Wanju lives to fight another day.
Good game of vibes.
Yeah, gotta love the honour agreement there between the two soldiers. But wow, Poland getting a lot of kills there. Fishkop, Stefan, Vox all going down. Ray getting on the action, taking down BB, but Fish still has that 100% hit advantage. The force didn't come out. Try it again. Gazi is in. Gets Stan, actually. So it's only Sam, that Fish has for company. Gazi and Idolus want to try and get the force hit. They're not getting any damage, and Sam does a grand job just denying the pressure, but the German respawns are coming in now. They're flooding across the point.
Uber does eventually get forced there by Fishkov, and in the spite of all that, manages to slip out Ray so far forward, gets juggled into the air. There, Uber also forced, but quite seemingly favouring Germany as it stands. They're chasing as far back as they possibly can, but they need to think about that second point. Stefan comes in. I'm not quite sure what the prerogative of that was. Looks like they just want to try and pick off as many frags as possible, but he managed to live long enough to sort of convert a few of those. Fishkov as well, now sort of on his own, and lost in that roller, is going to have to just bait out here. Get back with their medic, sort of look to lock off at this second and just take a nice solid round, but Poland are not letting them sit still.
No, they want to keep going forward. They have a man advantage. They go forward. They've lost one though. Sam is down, but Idolos, the demo, is out of the equation for Germany, and that prompts them to back away here, because without a demo, it's very hard to deny the point from Choke. And Poland may thinking about pushing here. No demo, no sticky traps, nothing to worry about. A lot less spam. Stan is already walking through that choke, thinking, "Hey, can we go, team?" But no, Gazi's there and just like, no, you ain't getting through me just yet.
We all know how aggressive Stan is. He just wanted to tickle it. He wanted to feel it out, and the response from Gazi sort of answered that question for him. So both teams just sort of trading a little bit of spam in this show. Gazi does one forward, picks off Stan with some nice damage from Voxy as well. And it looks like that's enough entry for Germany to get in here. Fishkov so deep in there. Pour out on that far area, and the Uber eventually popped by Germany, but it's just going to be Adilos on the beam, and they're not going to be able to close any ground. Counter Uber coming out of Poland as well.
Oh, Fishkov was there for so long, waiting for the health back. He was 2 HP and finally gets checked and gets taken down by Sam. And Poland now got the bit between their teeth, starting to walk forward. This is surely going to be a cap on mid. Germany's still 2 down, taking a ton of damage in this trip. They can't get out. BB is going to die, and actually take that back. Stefan picks up 2, and Germany still want to fight despite everything that's going on. They've taken down Fish, so heals are on their side. Sam is hiding in PC, might go for a back cap, but no, he's checked, he's known. But the Polish soldiers are in. I should expect
the 3-time sack. It's no big surprise. Yeah, ultimately not going to be able to get the pick onto Ray. Stefan has dropped out of the server, so I can imagine this might slow them down just a little bit for the Germans. Bonkers does actually bomb from behind. He gets a nice easy force onto Ray, stood still on top of that point. Bonkers gets picked off by a nice fade away from Fishkov, and it looks like Germany want to look to pressure last just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they are 1 down. Stefan just rejoining the server. They're getting some spam, just maybe just going for intel here, finding out the information, what's the setup. They see that there's no sentry, no NG. There is a heavy on the high ground who's actually just switched off. It looks like Poland don't want to pump the brakes at all. They want to be like, okay, we're on last. This is not good. Let's push out. They do have a 25% advantage. It's basically just a question about whether they wait for this advantage to push out, or if they're going to start going now.
Yeah, I mean, when it's 1-1, I would say a 6-on-6 push out is really risky, but it looks like that is a risk they are willing to take. Sam is out lower. They're taking it really deep into the choke. Managing to just press 4 plays, which is all they need. Just sending Gazi back to last are the Germans there, so they're just stacking onto this point, looking to apply as much pressure as they can. German re-push with the Uber charge, trying to get all they can, but Wanzu's doing an excellent job of suppressing Voxy. Just converting the frags back onto the Germans. It's a 3v1, just Adilos left in after that huge melee there. And Poland, coming good off of the back of that. It was a little messy, a little scrappy, but they managed to lock out that second.
Yeah, I thought Germany were just going to seal that off. They had this, this big Uber advantage there for 2 scouts on the beam, getting flashed going in. But enough Polish players survived, and Sam just hitting the meat there. Took down a couple of players in 2, and was able to equalize things out. Easy for losers here, but Poland are being pressured on this midpoint. They were trying to get the cap, maybe overextending a little bit, and they just get forced out, and Poland having to back up. And now you think with the pick, did Germany want to push onto second, just keeping this acceleration going? Gazi doesn't quite do the fast jump, so it's going to be Voxy who's in now, and Gazi jumps in deep, gets a nice amount of damage onto Stag, because Poland just being forced back, and Fish goes down to Fish Cop.
That was very eloquently put. Yeah, the captain bomb into rollout picks him off nice and early there. So Ray got herself a 90% Uber advantage now, and the Germans, of course, not going to stick around for too long, you would anticipate, as Poland sands their buffs and they just charge straight in through 1.
Gazi is just being an annoyance on the high ground. Takes 2 soldiers to deal with him. Voxy now with a bit of the beam chasing Bonkers. Germany just flying all around the place, but there's still stickies on the point. There's still a heavy to deal with, and it's not done and dusted just yet. Poland hold on. Oh, Stefan's in!
Oh! 3 shot.
Clutch.
Yeah, it was looking really, really hairy. The Germans sort of suppressed all of those Polish players into spawn, but the sticks weren't cleared off point. So when they came to play the cap, they were just completely sidetracked there, and they do manage to defend it pretty solidly there, and a huge couple rockets from Wanzu as well did mean that they held that last pretty solidly there. They did lose Zio, however, in the melee, so handed it Ray yet another Uber advantage.
It does look like Germany want to fight this. They have this huge Uber advantage, like you say, but they had the buffs on their players. Fish only just spawning means that those Polish players who managed to get the cap were unbuffed and not really ready to fight. So it's an easy counter cap coming in from Germany, and they still have this advantage approaching 100% now. And Idlos is already in. He's cleared the stickies off the point. Voxtec is going to get some nice cap time. The Uber is going to be used to stand just deleted from the server. So is Fish. Idlos just fragging out here, just throwing damage out left, right, and center. The cap is being pressured. Poland are doing their best to throw bodies on the point and block it. They are picking up some kills here. It's 3v3. The Polish players are so weak. Fish got 45 HP. Is maybe the kill to go for. They do get him. Idlos now being pressured. He gets an arrow.
That was painfully close from Germany. So many opportunities squandered there, and Poland doing a really good job of focus firing, just denying the closest player to that cap. They do manage to lock it out, and they're straight in on the aggression. It's 3 versus 4, but they're making it look like a full-fledged team fight. The double bomb from the soldiers coming in gets Zio. Bonkers going down as well. It's just going to be caught in here, and is this the momentum the Germans need? The 3-pick advantage, second in hand, half the cap onto last, and they're going straight in. Stan at caught in lobby. It's all falling apart from Poland. There's just Wanzu and Sam remaining. Sam goes down, as does Wanzu, and that is another round for Germany. Poland just sort of had some really good fortune pushing out aggressively from last, and they tried it again and just got completely punished that time.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I felt like it was just a matter of time. These Polish aggressive push-outs, it was high risk, high reward, and that just shows, that they were getting a lot of the reward, but that time the risk outweighed it. Bonkers really, really high and fast this time, so his Fish got a little bit of MG on the top of process, but no one dies.
Yeah, they were just tickling each other there at the sort of start of that mid. Gazi comes in with a huge bomb once again, but the scouts shoot him down with 2 swift meat shots. They do lose Sam as well, but what they are doing is keeping Zio alive, so painfully weak on 20 HP. Germany looking to execute a sort of a similar strategy there, but of course with that player advantage, just want to par forward as best they can, but Stefan seems to be all that stands in the way of that. But they're actually doing a bit of a wraparound here. Voxy and Ray are in this IT, and it looks like they want to block mid, but Zio and BB are there ready to receive.
Yeah, it's maybe a bit of an ulti duo with scouts thing happening here, but no, the respawns come in for the assistance. Bonkers is in on Ray, not a lick of damage onto the medic, and maybe that's gonna cause a bit of a stalemate fight here. Just chip damage happening. No really wanting to commit their last soldier to go in. Fish goes in. The Uber is going to be used by Ray, and Fish only just using it now. It's going to be a much better Uber by about 40%, but Poland not really on the chase because they're not getting the kills on the players who are on the point. Stefan and Fishkopf are just spreading people out, stretching them out. They finally do go down, but Germany, one shoot with the snipe, domes Ray, and now it looks like Poland have this in their grasp.
Yeah, just managing to shut them down, control the chaos of Germany. They seem to have a little bit of a knack for it now. The focus fire is definitely a lot better to what we saw on Snakewater. And it looks like they want to try and pile this as far forward as they can. One scout on the cap, everyone else in lobby, and they're just going to try and disassemble this German defense from a distance here as their spawners slowly rolling in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a sniper still for Poland, and you don't really want to be pushing an Uberad with a sniper.
It's ill-advised, I would say. Yeah.
It's ill-advised. Yeah, not if you were asking what kind of players you'd want to be pushing in with an Uberad, maybe not a sniper, but you can switch things around a bit. And it does look like it's going to be the lobby push. Once you left far side, maybe going to try and go for a snap as the Uber comes in. Stan just jumping into the panic room, finds a heavy. He's trying to land those pokes. Ray gets headshot by Wanzu. So maybe pushing with a sniper is the idea. Germany is so weak.
Yeah, but Stan is on that cap. Stefan has something to say about it, but they've got Bonkers on that beam as well. He's going to hope to just try and clean up those players. Wanzi managing to pick up three frags in that last push?
Yeah, he just jumps in on the point. I mean, it's the soldier dream, right? Having your scout play the cap point and then just being like, oh, okay, it looks like the defending team is trying to physically block the cap. I'm going to jump in and kill everybody. And that's exactly what Bonkers decided to do. But once you're getting 2 back-to-back snipes there, headshots onto Ray, really opening things up. And maybe that's the ace in the hole that Poland won. As they tied up 2-2. There's another mid-fight. Nothing really too aggressive happening out of people just yet. It's going to be Fishkop just to dance around. Bonkers hiding in PC, just scares him off. Gets a nice rocket onto Stefan, and that's just going to open things up for Poland now.
Yeah, it's the German soldiers seem to be bombing and rebombing and sort of taking a lot of damage, but in spite of how many times they're able to bomb, they're not converting too much back onto Poland, and the remainder of their players aren't quite sure what to do with that aggression, and as a result they've managed to be forced into the enemy IT with a Doberman sticking it up. They have got overcharge though, so Voxy takes a big chunk of damage at the start there. The added loss of bombs forward takes a big chunk as well. They do get the force out of Poland, but of course that cap has been sent their way, and it's just a bit of a melee in this choke area now.
But look at Voxy, he's just buzzing around behind. They don't know what to do because he's outdoing everyone. And Stefan just comes in on the respawn. He gets two
as well.
Oh no!
I was waiting for this.
The flare kill onto Stan. Idlos cleans it up with the kill on Fish. I mean, honestly, you look at that situation and you think, it's one of those what happens next scenarios. And you think it's not going to end well for Germany. But Voxy was like, you know what? I'm not going to chase. I'm going to sit on mid and wait for people to try and fight me. And the Polish players tried to, and they were like, you know what? No, I'm not having any of that. And it just caused chaos. And like you said, Germany are loving this chaos. And it's really what's opening up Poland at the moment. But, not a huge advantage. Maybe Poland can solidify things on last.
Yeah, they're going to hope for that, but the way they don't do that is by getting a soldier caught out in lobby. Wanzu just spawning as well, so BB is sniping, trying to get as best he can onto Ray, but that aggressive positioning does really mean that you're a bit of a wet blanket after the start of that, so Germany coming in, Gazi on the pyro, going to look to deny anyone onto point, but Stefan's not really in position to play cap just yet. Stan goes down, so there's no secrets on the side of the Poles, and with 3 players down on the German side, they're just going to have to count their chickens and back out here, but Gazi is very much still an all-let's pyro.
I mean, if they're counting their chickens, it's going to be fried chickens, because Gazi is just crisping everybody up. It's the coast-to-coast pyros are something you see very often, so you got to appreciate when you see it. Bonkers jumping in here, actually focusing the damage onto Voxy, doesn't get it, and actually the Uber's going to be traded here. It's Bonkers down, full complement of players for Germany, but they don't really want to push things here. They're taking lobby, taking it nice and slow and coordinated, going for the picks here, but they're not finding an opening. It's so much spam coming from Poland. Gazi just respawns on the pyro. He doesn't take that there. He's just like, no, I'm going to go pyro again.
I'm getting season 38 playoffs vibes out of Gazi right now. He seemed to electrify pyro in these all critical moments just to create a bit of discomfort in the enemy team, but ultimately that didn't quite come good for Germany there, as they do have a full wipe, a nice easy push up for Poland, but we're going to see Gazi pyro again. We do!
Oh, he's on his mind now. I'm going to have a successful round.
Oh, never mind. cleaned up. Nice, just walks into the traps of Stan there, and it does mean that Germany going to have to back out. Ray was not up to support that, so just going to clump together on this second point now. They're playing this high ground, ready to receive the aggression out of Poland now.
He's still on
Pyro.
Pyro.
Manifest. Of course he's still on Pyro. He's got the knack. He's feeling the oats.
you know, when you're thinking, you know what, this is
no way! Oh my god! Oh no, Zeo too far back, just lands on Stan's head. I was hoping for the best of the best there. Got a bit overexcited.
I mean, you know what? The rocket jump was exciting enough for me. Like, I loved it. You love to see it. The attempt being made.
Just the cheese of it.
Yeah, it's just, if you're the Polish team and you see that, you're just thinking, oh damn, what have we done?
I'd be mouldy at that point, but they do manage to get Fishkov in, who hits a nice rocket onto Zeo. Doesn't manage to surf it, gets picked off as well. Poland managing to get that cap. Germany on last without heals. But do actually have to pop it as there's 3 players concentrated in this rollout area, but Stan seems to occupy a fair chunk of their time. Wanzu is in this 5 area, but seemingly as well has been spotted out.
He's going to get cleaned up by Stefan. Jumping soldier against the scout is not a matchup you really want to take.
I would say, yeah.
You know what, ill-advised? I think it's just straight up bad advice. But Poland's going to get some forward respawns on second, but they're not going to be able to fight mid here. Gazzy's still on the Pyro. We'll have to see what kind of shenanigans he can pull out of his sleeve in the remaining 7 minutes of this map, which we should remind you is still tied at 2-2.
Yeah, it's a real polar opposite to what we saw on the last map there. And Poland have put Wanzu on the sniper again. Much akin to Gazzy. Feeling the oats, obviously. He's staring down the barrel of Choke. Foxy takes a big old body shot. And Gazzy looks like he wants to take a fight with a soldier in IT, which, to be honest, I'm here for. I want Gazzy to take everything. I want Gazzy to be in the combo. I want him to take the solo Ubers. I want him to be rocket jumping forward, but it looks like Germany are looking to execute without. They try and get in as far as they can from that far sewers area. They are up on this high ground, only managing to get Wanzu for now in the sniper, and Fishkov going down as well does make things a little bit difficult for them. Gazzy in behind on the lobby as well, so they're going to have to look to collapse and sandwich these players.
He's doing so much. This is ridiculous. These players need to be cleaned up. Poland are just, they're staying alive in a shred of health. He waddled in through PC into lobby, and then he air blasts and damages bonkers, both scouts. The rest of the Germans there should have just walked forward and been like, you know what, Gazzy's doing stuff behind, let's help.
In spite of all that, he nearly rocket jumped out with a reflect on grass. It does come out though, Stan going down as well to a nice one for Fishkov, and seemingly he survives on 100 HP as well. Gazzy just completely denying them a choke, and yet another rocket jump. He's so deep. Oh my god. Wanzu takes a fair old chunk of damage. Gazzy is just all over him.
It's just causing havoc. It's just.
I'm so annoyed for them.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed for Poland. I'd be absolutely moulding if a player was able to do this much with so little. But he's seemingly able to create more space and rocket jump, and also have the firing output of a scout all at the same time.
5 minutes to go.
They haven't capped second.
They have to focus to go back and cap. But yeah, Uber advantage Pyro pushing into last here. Does get a decent amount of damage onto Wanzu. He's not going to live that. He has to get out. Stan also going down. But Ray's going to get cleaned up. BB is going to hit that shot. Poland living. And yeah, they're going to get the cleanup here. BB and Sam doing a great job of just cleaning up. Ooh.
Fishkov comes in through rollout, hits 2 nice rockets onto Zeo, which, although Poland should be able to push out pretty comfortably here, it does make things a little more awkward for the long game, as there are 4 minutes remaining. Germany have their heels up, and they're looking to just feel out this second point, but ultimately elect otherwise. Wanzu tries to get a little bit of a fake bomb, but Gazzy is in hot pursuit as always.
Oh, Bonkers! Bonkers in, gets a nice rocket, and Idlos, just the hero of the hour, landing the pipes again to protect his medic. And Poland now down without those artillery soldiers we talked so much about. Stan, pretty weak, is going to get cleaned up again by the pipes of Idlos. Does man have a magnet in those cannonballs? He's walking forward now, and Germany have an Uber advantage. They also have a Pyro, and they're ready to push Process Last. Will we see a successful Pyro push on Process Last this time around? We'll have to wait and see. There is a heavy though, and I've heard heavy counts as Pyro if the casual meta is to be believed here.
Yeah, we'll have to see if these hard counters really are hard counters here as Germany ubering really aggressively through 4. There's a lot of distance for them to cover. They haven't done any damage to anyone really. The Sticky's still very prevalent on this point. Bonkers and Wanzu do bomb forward as best they can. A lovely air shot from Wanzu onto Adilos does taking down the counter, but coming out of Poland, they're charging through rollout. A bit of a fell push from the German side, managed to get Ray and Stefan at the end there, but they're just reconciling on last, looking to clean up these players behind. Foxy is in, trying to get Zio. Was that 4 HP there?
It was 4 HP. That's tantalizingly close to a clutch mid pick there, which would have really swung things in Germany's favor. They would have been fighting this second point right now if Foxy had got that kill. As it is, they're just going to be chilling on mid at a 20% disad. Gazi still on the pyro, just hiding in choke. Fishcop maybe being the bait, but no,
they're walking behind him. Gazi, it looks like he's going behind. I think if there's any better class to deny sort of a second gap, it's going to be pyro, but there's not going to be anyone to block.
Look at one shoot, he doesn't know what to do.
oh, he's bombing. He's got bigger balls than I ever will, and you know.
Is he going to get this?
I hope. Oh my god. Oh, Bonkers goes reflected as well. Gazi's occupying 3 players.
You know what? If one soldier bombing a pyro doesn't work, maybe the second soldier bombing a pyro is going to be the solution. Pro tip, it wasn't, and Germany now are pushing into last. Fish does have the Uber, the rate only at 99%. Doesn't
reflecting
manage to
everyone
get
on
it in
point
time.
Gazi trying to do as best he can, gets a nice flare punch onto Wanzu. He's just flaming everyone. The point is open. So many burning players. It's hot dogs for dinner, boys. And Gazi just running all over them. BB is flamed, but Gazi's so painfully weak and separated from Ray. But does manage to slip out seemingly there with a good distraction. Stefan trying to get on that last cap, but this is prime TF2 CeeJaey. I'm not sure you'll see TF2 quite like this anywhere else.
This is top quality. I can't wait for Lands to come back. Okay, because I want to see
this on 5 ping. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see the 5 ping pyro pushes. To be serious for a moment, how many times have we seen Germany with a full out push into last, not getting the kind of finishing cap? Because again, like they were like 4v2 there, didn't quite get it. Time's ticking on now. Definitely not much time for Poland to push out all the way to last. Ray with that Uber advantage. This is Germany's possibly last chance to seal this out before Golden Cap.
Yeah, the Uber does eventually come off. They're in this heaven area trying to do what they can. Try to pick off Zio, who is 60 HP. Does go down on 90% there, so it looks like with those players they're just going to back up. They've got enough time for one more sort of solid push into last. They've got to hope their spawners are there soon enough, because they really don't want to give this up to Poland, but they are already there, ready to receive the German aggression, and only sort of one player, but they have got Gazi back on the soldiers, so I think we should just tune out. It's unwinnable.
Yeah, it's unwinnable now. I've lost interest. Gazi jumping in with the soldier. I mean, it doesn't count really. It's no skill if you're shooting your own rockets. You got to wait for the team to shoot rockets at you. Come on, man. Come on. This is for entertainment. Germany maybe going to flood in here. I mean, there's 20 seconds to go.
They're being really slow about it, though. You can't build an Uber charge in sort of this last 20 seconds here. They're going in through 1. They're going to have to play this point as solidly as they can. There is Stickies to contend with, but a lot of Polish players very, very close to the spawn door. But I don't think they're aware of the time. They're not aware. They've waited for that Uber charge. They've got no space whatsoever. And Poland just going to be able to hold this really simply here. I think Germany just lost track of the time at the end there. That's a bit of a silly one.
Yeah, I totally agree. They should have just kept building Uber, moved into lobby, and pushed on the dot. They would have got it. So it is going to go to a golden cap.
It's all going to come down to this sort of ultimate round on process.
Yeah, if Germany take it, they will take the second map and the entire series, having won the first map 6-1. Poland need to win this round so they can clinch their map choice and force it to a decider, which is Sunshine. Do you have an inclination either way?
I'm going to have to say Germany, because they're having a little bit of fun with it, but now it's serious time.
Sam spawns on the spy, by the way. Doesn't leave spawn as the spy, but he spawns as the spy, and maybe that was just to see if they had a pyro. Maybe he was just checking to see if Gazi starts off on pyro. They know that he's not, so they can face his bombing here, which he goes in, takes a lot of damage just to back up for an arrow. And it's actually Poland being the most aggressive. They're all the way over. Foxy and Stefan both going down. And it looks like they're going to have to back away here, Germany. There is a player in behind, and it is Wonju, and he does get Ray.
Phenomenal stuff. They really did replicate the Germans' levels of success on these mid-fights in creating that chaos. Didn't let them get sort of comfortable at all there, which is the sort of aggression you need in these golden caps. And they've, of course, kept CeeJaey alive, the all-important medic for Poland, and they're just looking to take this second nice and slowly. They're playing for insurance, they're playing for CeeJaey. They know they've got a huge advantage in hand, and they do not want Germany to squander that.
No, they don't. Voxy already on the sniper, tries to peek out of rollout, gets just a face full of spam. Totally denying any sort of sightline he could potentially have had. Ray only at 30%, so we have an engineer on Stefan, Voxy on the heavy. Proper Highlander setup here to try and turtle last against this Uberad push. Poland in lobby, just peeking, getting a little bit of intel. The Uber is used. Stan doesn't jump forward instead. Actually,
there we go.
He does. He found the sentry.
Did a fake bomb onto the gun. Commendable. Seems to be causing a bit of issue for him thus far. A little bit of cap time for the Polish side, but what they have done is managed to keep their scouts nice and healthy there. But as I say, he does go down into a trap there. Stan trying to do what he can on the cap. Stefan running a bit of a muck with Fishkov as well. Just CeeJaey left alive from that fail push from Poland. And a 70% Uber advantage in the hands of Germany as they get a nice easy push out onto this second point, and Poland scrabbling for their forward spawners.
Yeah, they're only going to get... BB is actually hiding. BB on the sniper, hiding in the forward spawn.
Okay.
This is... We know what's going to happen
Ray
next,
is so
right?
slow though. Oh, there was an opportunity, there was a shot, but Gazi is there. I don't think BB's getting another shot for that, and he has identified that himself. Does backboard, but he again is on this sniper. They want another crack at the egg. He sat in this rollout area, but the Uber has popped far too early for that to have any impact whatsoever. Really, really deep on from Adelos. Managed to pick up Stan and CeeJaey there. Those that's really crucial for that last health. That's incredible.
He just launches straight forward, sinks those stickies up. 2 huge kills. No heals, no stickies on last. Voxy straight onto the point, getting that cap pressure, forcing the scouts. BB and Sam do melt him down, but the soldiers come in, and it is going to be the round of the golden cap going to Germany. 3-2 on this map, and they take this series 2 maps to 0. They are the 3rd place team of this Nations Cup, and Poland will have to settle with 4th place. And I mean, that was quite a game. Meer, one way or another, that was a hell of a game.
Certainly that second map is probably some of the most exciting TF2 I've watched, and I think in part that is credit to just how different it was. I think Poland played very different, and I'm not even going to comment on Gazi because we all saw it, and I'm sure the Polish players don't want to talk about it.
Taking a look at the logs, I'm not sure if we've got combined logs just yet. Is there anything that kind of jumps out there? Ray dying 5 times less than Fish. That kind of sums up for me a little bit. Just there seemed to be Germany in control of the game, but they just couldn't seed it off. They just wasn't that finishing touch on last. Germany taking 3rd place over Poland, 2 maps to 0, winning Snakewater 6-1 and Process 3-2 after a golden cap. Poland finishing 4th. And that was our last match. The final of the Nations Cup was already played between France and England. But for now, that was all the gameage we have for you tonight. There is more on Kritzcast in the coming days. This Sunday, there is going to be the grand final of the Highlander season 24 Premiership Grand Final between STCK, the defending champions, and Failer Esports, who are the perennial runners-up. Will they be able to take it this time around, or will STCK just continue to hold onto that trophy? And a Highlander Nations Cup is brewing up.
Remember to check us out on twitter.com/Kritzcast. We've got a Discord group. Check us out on YouTube for all of these VODs. Remember, you can subscribe on Twitch, access to all the VODs. We've got Patreon, we've got merchandise, and we've got excellent TF2 content in the pipeline, as CeeJaey touched on. So it has been me, Meer, joined by CeeJaey, Rahmed coming clutch on production once again. This has been the Nations Cup 3rd place finals. Thank you very much for joining me, and good night.
Hi, old beaver! Away!